Hello, hello. How are we all doing this evening? Who do we have here? Steven is here, Andy is here, Kelsey is here. Hey guys, welcome to the show. Let me know you were here by saying hi. In case anyone else comes in after, we've got a couple people joining us. So how is everybody this evening? Are we ready to weave a llama? I am so excited for that project, but we're gonna have to wait for that. Steve's doing good. Good to hear it. So we've got 3 projects. Penny is here. Hi, Penny. I miss you guys. And Kiara is here. It's so nice to see you guys here. I miss you. Please come visit me, everybody. I need to see your faces. So if you are new to us, you have these cards. One is for attending programs like this, and one is for all of the reading that I hope you're doing at home. Every time you attend a program, put on a sticker, fill a row, bring it in, get a prize, fill the next row, bring it in, get a prize. Same thing with reading, 1 chapter book or 3 picture books for the younger kids. Fill a row, bring it in, get a prize. Fill up the card, get another card. You know, it's just my way of making sure that you're doing some reading at home and to thank you for attending our virtual programs. So we are making 3 different projects today. So let's unpack our kit so we can sort out all the supplies for each project. I'm gonna point you down here. All right, so of course we have our llama. All right, let me back in a little bit more table space. That's one project. And we have this big piece of burlap, so that's a project. Any kind of ribbon pieces are your 3rd project. So I'll take out all my ribbon pieces. The ribbon goes along with this little handmade loom that I have for you. Abby M is here. Abigail, how are you doing today? Nice to have you. I'm still trying to pull out all my ribbons. All right. Then we've got 2 bunches of yarn. The really neatly woven yarn or wrapped yarn that looks like it changes colors on its own goes with the llama. And then this kind of messy bird's nest of colors goes with the burlap. And your glue dots, you should have 5 glue dots and 5 pom-poms. They go with the llama as well. Okay, so we're gonna start. Oh, and you should have a tapestry needle, which seems to be missing from my kit. I'll have to go get myself one. Because you will definitely need it for the burlap project, which is going to be the first project that we have. Aunt Brenda is here. Hello, Aunt Brenda. I also want to say hello to Anna and Lexi, who will join us at some point. I'm just going to unroll these as I'm talking. Grace, Abby, there's another Abby, not Abby M, another Abby, Isaac and Micah. They will watch us at some point. Okay, so what we're going to do is this first weaving project is you take 1 piece of that bird's nest that I just unraveled. You're going to put your tapestry needle on it, and you're going to use the tapestry needle. See, our burlap already looks like a loom because it's got squares, it's got strings that run down and run across. You're going to pick a row, any row. You want to start in the middle, you could start there, at the top, at the bottom, wherever you want. Take your tapestry needle and you're going to weave under, over, under, over, under, over those strings that go down. And the easiest way to do this is once you get to the end, you're just going to pull it all the way through like that. So all of this is going to be woven. Your needle's going to be on this end, and then you can use the scissors to snip and then weave another row and then snip. You should get, like, I would say 2 rows out of each piece of yarn. So that way you're not constantly threading your needle. So you get started with that. I'm going to go grab my needle. We're going to do a couple rows together, and then I'm going to bounce to the next project, because once you get going on this, you don't need me to chaperone you through it. You can design it however you like. So get started. I shall be right back. Okay, I'm back. So I'm threading my yarn through the tapestry needle. Now I do need you guys to return these needles. Please, please, please return these needles. I had a lot of you sign up for this, and I had just about as many sign up for the Among Us class when I did that back in the fall. And we were doing actual sewing with that. And I asked for everyone to return their sewing needles, and I got like maybe 5 back out of, I don't know, 13, 14 kids. So I really need you guys to make an effort to return. I try not to give you too many things that you have to return. But these supplies that, you know, I could potentially use over and over again for future programs. Now, if I want to do a sewing program, I probably are going to have to buy more sewing needles in order to do that. So I'm going to show you. This is what mine is looking like so far. See, I'm just going under and over. You only need scissors for this that I didn't supply you. And for our llama, you'll need some tape as well. Any kind of tape will do. It's just to hold down the loom onto the llama. Okay, so I've weaved all the way through. I'm going to pull it. And you could just leave the little end like sticking up like that. You can see that. And then I'm going to take my scissors and just do a snip snip at the end. And since I still have this on my needle, instead of switching colors, I'm going to start again. And you just go all the way from one side to the other. And eventually you'll fill this up. This reminds me a lot of the pot holder type weaving projects that I used to do as a kid. I know they still sell them. I'm just not sure if they're as popular. I mean, I bought them for my kids to do with those loops, and you put them on the loom so they go all like up and down one direction, and then you take the other ones and weave them in and out, going in the opposite direction like a cross. And then you have to do like a special thing with all the ends on all four sides so that you can take it off the loom and it will stay together. So I'm still just going under, over, under, over, under, over. And the tapestry needle is good. Number one, it's plastic, so it's not going to hurt you guys. Number two, it's got a big hole at the end, right? It's not like a sewing needle, so the yarn will fit through there. All right, I'm at the end of this one. And I'm going to do a little snip, snip here. Now, this last little piece that I have probably will fit. I just measured it. It might be a little difficult at the end, but I'm going to do one more. I'm just going to finish up this yarn with you guys, and then we'll jump to the next project with our ribbon, which is super, super easy. And then you can use these, you know, for whatever you want. They're just kind of like decoration. This burlap could be used, you know, as kind of like a placemat slash doily kind of thing. You probably don't know what a doily is, but just something on like your nightstand or your dresser with, you know, a lamp sitting on it, or if you have a little jewelry box, if you have an elf on the shelf, this could be its beach blanket. You know, think of all kinds of creative things that you could do with it. You could just make it a wall hanging. Anyone else have any ideas? You can type them in the chat. We'll share them with everybody. If you've got any other creative ideas on what you could do with them. Okay, there. So I'm going to pull this, and then I'm going to do another snip, snip here, and then I have just a little piece of yarn left. And so now I have 3 rows done, and I'm going to continue to do that with the rest of my colors. And it's just going to be random colors of yarn through your burlap, which looks really neat. And I love the texture of it. I love burlap. I have it as, you know, decoration in my house. Okay, so moving on to a doll blanket. Perfect. Yes, Barbie. She's going camping, going to the beach. Just wants to put it on her bed. Perfect. Okay, so I made this little loom for you guys. Sorry, like I did half the project for you, but you know what? I was gonna have you do it with the popsicle sticks and use glue dots to hold it together so that you can assemble it yourself and just run the twine back and forth yourself. But then I was afraid that the glue dots might come unstuck, so I ended up just hot gluing everything and making them all for you, and then you could just weave in the ribbons. Oh, Steven says guinea pig blanket or rug. Perfect. So same idea, but because we're going to go one row on top of the other, we have to make sure that when we do the second row, it's the opposite of the first row. And I'll show you what I mean. And you could decide what order you want to put them in. You've got some skinny yarn or some skinny ribbon and some fat ribbon. I mean, isn't this adorable? Llamas. How perfect is that with our project? And we've got some cacti. I love that. And just some really fun geometric ones and some lacy ones and some skinny ones. Everyone's pretty much got the same. Maybe 1 or 2 strands will be different. So take whatever strand you want to work with. You can kind of tell which is the front and which is the back. You can see where I glued the string. That would be the back. I didn't trim it because I thought it was kind of going to go with like the messy feel of this project. Because all you're going to do is take your ribbon. I'm going to go under the first string, over the second string, under the next one, over, under, over, and I'll go under the popsicle stick. Okay, so it looks like that. So over the popsicle stick, under this one, over, under, over, under, over, under this popsicle stick. Now, to do the next one, and you guys can start from the top. You guys can start from the top and work your way down. I was gonna say mine's on the bottom because I'm holding it up. I will put that back in really quick. The next one, the next row of your ribbon is going to do the opposite of what your first ribbon did. So if your first ribbon went over the first string on your loom, this ribbon is going to go under the first ribbon or the first string on your loom. So we're just doing the exact opposite of what we did with the first row. And I'm going to hold this up, and we want them to be a little bit longer than the loom, so we don't have to do any trimming. I cut them to just the right size. Penny says like a violin. Ooh. So you can see here my first ribbon went under the string, so the next time I went over. This one was over, so this time I went under. And I do have to fix this piece. This should be over my popsicle stick here. Over the popsicle stick, under the popsicle stick, under the popsicle stick, over the popsicle stick. So you'll continue to do that and, you know, play with the which ribbon goes next. I'm going to stick in a skinny one here. Doing the opposite of what my second row was. And then I'll just push it up a little bit to make room for the next one. Maybe I'll do another skinny one. And you'll just continue to fill your loom that way. There we go. And you just continue with your yarn, your ribbon pieces for that. Okay, so let's go to this llama project, which I love so much. Now, I thought it would be funny if I had a whole bunch of llama books to share with you, and I do have some. I ordered some through the library system, but with our bad weather that we've had, libraries have been closed, the van wasn't delivering, so I didn't get all of the ones that I ordered. But have you ever seen The Emperor's New Groove? It is a Disney movie. The Emperor gets turned into a llama. It's a pretty funny movie. And I have llama or alpaca. What's the difference? Because, you know, they can be confusing. They look similar. By reading this book, I learned that one is taller than the other. One has a longer face than the other. Their ears are a little different. Alpacas like to live in herds, whereas llamas are pretty much alone. So that's a good book. Llama at the Library, not this library. Magic Tree House, Late Lunch with the Llamas. And some of my favorites, Llama Unleashes the Alpacalypse, not Apocalypse. And same series, Llama Destroys the World. So those are the only ones that I have to share with you. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. This is where you're going to need your tape. You're going to take one end of your string and you're going to tape it to the back of your llama. You can tell the back because I was cutting it out of boxes. So you want this the cardboard. I'm going to just tape my one end to the back of my llama, just like that. Now you all have slots in your llama. You should have 4 slits on top and 5 slits. The one is right next to his neck, so it might be hard to see. So you are going to run the string into those slits. That's just going to kind of hold it in place. So there's in the slit by his neck. Then I'm going to come down and pull the string through this slit on the bottom. I'm going to wrap the string over, and then I'm going to pull it in through the next slit. Bring it down. Kendra's Nana is here. Hello. And then keep going, working all the way across to get all of those in place. You'll finish right at the end there, and then just add another little piece of tape to that end on the back. And then we're done with the tape. Now, if you want to use your tapestry needle for this, you can do that. And what we're going to do is unroll this. Now, maybe you want to work with just a little bit at a time so it doesn't get tangled. Like I'll pull off some and then snip it. Because otherwise, if you get all the way to the end, you're going to have to pull that whole thing through. And it's going to be maybe too long to work with. So I'm just going to cut off a little piece and see how far that gets me. I will put my tapestry needle on because it will make it easier. I also want to tell you about all of our events coming up for March and April. Once we get weaving, I'll tell you about that. Okay, so I'm going to first, once I get my tapestry needle on my yarn, I'm going to go to the last strand. And I'm going to just run my needle underneath that. I want to tie the other end of this string to that. See, so I'm going to pull it all the way through till I get to the end. And I'm just going to tie a little knot. It doesn't even have to be a double knot if you don't want to. Just so it sticks on there. And we're going to be doing the same thing now. We'll call this over, and then I'm going to go under, over, under, over. All right, so I went under that one. And now I'm going to go over this one and under the next one. I'm going to angle it up towards his head so I can get the needle through there. trying to do this upside down and backwards to you guys, so I hope that I don't make any mistakes. Okay, so that's our first row, right? So now we ended going over this one, so now we're going to go under it this time. And pull the yarn through. Over the next one, under the next one after that. So the same basic weaving technique. Over number 4, under number 5. Okay, so now we have 2 rows. So what we're going to do is continue to weave like that, back and forth. Make sure that you're doing the opposite of the row above it. And the yarn is going to slowly start to change color on its own. What I'd like to do is get the needle in, if you can, if your fingers work with you, you can send your needle through the whole row and then just pull the needle out. And you'll get the whole row done all at once. Okay, so let's continue to weave. We'll see how far we get. And then the pom-poms are for the llama decorations at the end. So one thing I just want to say is you don't want to pull too tight, because you see what happens with the string. What's the llama for? We're weaving the llama, the picture that was on your kit. We're weaving the little blanket that would go over his back if you were to ride him, like if he was a camel. Don't pull too tight when you get to the end, because you don't want those strings to start pulling in towards the center. That's what I wanted to say. Stephen got me off track there. So you guys have lots of yarn that I gave you to do plenty more weaving projects if that's what makes your heart happy. Okay, so next week is bookmaking. I am just about filled up for that, but we are releasing our March and April events on Tuesday morning next week. Oops, I got a knot in my yarn here. Let me pull this out. So I will give you a sneak peek of what's to come, and then you'll be able to register for them as soon as those events go live on Facebook Tuesday morning. First week of March, we're doing rock wrapping. It is real rocks, and we're wrapping yarn, and we're also doing wire and buttons. You'll do one of each. Woven Art 2. It's the sequel to this project. These projects. We're going to do a cup and a bowl. And I'm actually going to give you the opportunity to register for that tonight, since you guys are signed up for this one. So I am going to, right at the end, before I say goodbye, I'm going to post the link in the comments. And you guys will get first dibs of signing up for that class before the rest of the public, because you guys are here with me. Pull my needle off. I'm going to snip that. Sometimes the end of your yarn gets frayed. So if you just snip it off, it makes it easier to thread onto your needle. Third week in March, we're doing National Scribble Day. That's going to be fun. I don't have it completely planned out yet, but we are scribbling on a paper, and we're making characters out of them. We're going to give them eyes and arms and legs. And that is for all ages, so if you have any younger brothers or sisters, you can sign them up to do the class with you. And then the last week in March, we're doing a sock bunny. It's no-sew, and we will be turning a colorful striped sock into a little bunny rabbit with just some stuffing and some rubber bands. And he's going to be cute. Kiara says weaving is awesome. I'm so glad. I'm glad you like it. I am loving the colors of this particular yarn. I think I gave everybody like different yarn. But they all are color changing yarn. And I really like the colors in this one. They're nice and bright. You know me and being bright. Come April, I can't believe we're talking about April already. I'm so excited. Hope spring comes soon enough. We're doing the first week, I'm calling Smash This Journal. It's, maybe you've heard of Wreck This Journal. It's a book that you can buy on Amazon. My daughter has one. And then Smash Books are books that you kind of just glue a whole bunch of stuff into, kind of like a scrapbook. So two of them are going to collide during National Library Week. So we're going to be making a different kind of book, different from what we're doing next week for bookmaking. And we're going to smash this journal. So we're going to have fun doing that. Then the second week, I'm doing a beginner's coding class. That will be particularly for younger kids. I mean, I don't care if the older kids want to sign up, but it's pretty basic, easy concepts to comprehend. Algorithms, bugs, conditionals, you know, basic coding language, and we're using all Disney characters, Anna and Elsa, The Incredibles, Dory, Wreck-It Ralph, to teach all the concepts. So more geared towards younger kids. But, you know, if the older kids want to partake, they can. The third week, I'm introducing you to the theme for this year's summer reading program, and we're going to be making pipe cleaner animals. Take just pieces of pipe cleaner, bend them and twirl them and fold them into different shapes, and we're going to end up making some really cute little animals. And the last week in April, I'm hoping that spring will have sprung, and we will be making mini fairy gardens. Minus the fairy, because the gardens are there for the fairy to visit when you're not looking. So we will set up the garden for her. Ooh, Penny is enjoying the weaving too. Glad to hear it, girls. Okay, I am almost finished. I'm going to keep going till the end so that I can show you how we're going to tie it off and put on the pom-poms. If you're not there yet, that is perfectly okay. Just watch what I show you how to do now. When you get to the end and you're ready, you can go back and watch the video again if you need to. It will be there on the replay, so don't feel like you have to rush to finish your project. But please, you know I ask every week, take pictures, post them under the event, or even under the video, just on the videos page of our Facebook page, because the event then, after it's passed, it kind of goes like inactive. But you can post it wherever you want. I would love to see pictures. I miss that so much about all of us being together, other than seeing your beautiful, friendly, smiling faces and getting to talk to you about everything that's going on in your life. I miss seeing the end results of all your projects. Okay, my yarn is about to run out. Now, if you do run out of yarn, you just tie on another piece and keep going, if that's what you want to do. I don't even have enough to tie a knot. I would have tied a knot here, but I just had just enough. So you can tie a knot, or if you weave all the way to the end, you can also just send that in to the back and then tape it there too without tying a knot. I don't think that that's going to go anywhere though, so I'm not too worried. Look, I was pulling a little too tight. You can see it's squishing in a little bit in the center. Okay, so we're going to use our glue dots to put on our pom-poms. We've got 5 strands here on our loom. We've got 5 pom-poms. So, do you remember how to use glue dots? We're going to separate them all, so we're only using one at a time. There's a plastic side and there's a paper side. You pull off the paper. What's left is the glue dot on the plastic. You take the pom-pom, you push it right on the glue dot, and you give it a little rub, 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 scritchy, scratch, scratch. Pom-poms like back rubs too. And then you pull the plastic off and the glue dot will stick to the pom-pom. And then you put the pom-pom right on one of the strands to cover it up. Isn't that adorbs? And then you get to decorate him like the picture. You can give him a face, you can give him a little necklace, you can make him hairy, however you want. I'm gonna put some more on because I just love these pom-poms. Hey, where'd they all go? Oh, they're on the floor. My pom-poms are running away from me. Rub, dub, dub. Pull off the plastic. Ah! Pom-pom. Bam. So cute. Picking up my pom-poms because they fell on the floor. Okay, so let me move this stuff all forward. I'm going to move you a little forward. So let me now, give me 1 second. I'm going to go to my link. I'm going to copy this link. I'm going to post it into the comments right now. That is there we go. The direct link. There it is, to Woven Art 2, March 16th, 6 p.m. You guys can go ahead and register for that now if you'd like, before anybody else gets to even see it. So I'm going to finish putting the pom-poms on my llama. And then I think the next project I'm really excited to go back to working on is this one. I'm excited to see how this is going to come out with all the different colored stripes. But this one's almost finished, so really I could finish this in like 2 seconds, and then that would be done. And then this would be the only project that I'd have to be finished. So it's up to you what you guys want to do. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. I thank you every week because, you know, if you weren't willing to join me here, what would I be doing with my life? I don't know. So I thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for joining me every week. I miss you guys. I hope to see you guys soon. Until then, maybe next week. Otherwise, have a good week, have a good night, and I'll see you soon.